Welcome to the Beyond Babbitt late night streaming with your host, Brent Anthony. Still a scorcher out here. Testing out the new desk. Thank you for joining. Thank you. And again, thanks to all my new subscribers. And we'll get into this. Matter of fact, before we get started, this is just a test run. I was going to go on Facebook and tell people I'm going to be live at such and such time. But no, this is just a test run. We don't have the lights yet. I'm testing out the audio, the lights that I do have, the desk. Just a test run. But the information is still valid. So here we go. And let me just tell you how God works right quick. The desk you see, once I decided that this was a move that I wanted to make, I first decided, I had to look around for the supplies because I was like, whoa, I don't know how much this stuff is going to cost. So, shout out to Cecil, man, Cecil Sparks. He provided the wood for me to build the desk. And this is how God works because he's the first person I thought of to ask, hey, you know anybody who has any wood? And he was like, it's funny you should ask that. He said his job was throwing out some wood a while back, and it was some nice wood, and he didn't want it to go to waste. So he said, can he have it? They said, yeah, they gave it to him. And it's been in his garage ever since. He didn't know what he was going to do with it. So God made the provision even before I came on and even before I had the idea. You see what I'm saying? So that's how God works. So the first person I asked, anybody with some wood, had the wood. And it just so happened it was what I needed. It was enough to get this stuff started. So we're here now. And so let's go forward. Let's see how much of this we can get through. We're just going to go through the first page or something like that. So today is August the 1st, 2018, Wednesday. And now you're starting to see what I was talking about. I'm pretty sure of that. Let's see. So we're watching the wheels fall off, literally. The decline of the West and the rise of the East. So we missed this. This wasn't that. I guess it was made public, but we just missed it. So back in June, some reported it on June the 20th, and some reported it on June the 21st. So let's name those publications: New York Times, Washington Post, Fox News, and the Daily Mail. All had this, or a version of this. It says more whites are dying than being born in the United States. So in 26 states, looks like last year, in 26 states, over half of the states, more whites died than were born. And that's actually, they're saying by 2025 that so the white is going to be the minority. It's going to be half of the population, less than 50% of the population. But actually, I don't agree with those numbers. The census numbers have been skewed, manipulated. Shall I say the books have been cooked, just like the derivative market and a lot of other things, for political purposes. So this probably has been happening since the 1980s, I would say. The rise of abortion, the legalization of abortion, to look like you have chastity. And in case you get married, you don't want a kid out of wedlock, whatever, So that's what we have on the books. Now, how do you think? Now, this is happening across the world. When I say the decline of the West, we're not just talking about America, even though this particular article that all these different organizations reported on, was talking about this is happening in America. And this is happening across the West. When I say the West, I mean Western Europe, and the U.S., and Canada, and the Western European nations, should I say. And arguably, is the U.S. a part of the East, or is the U.S. a part of the West? We always call it the West, but the indigenous people that were here may have had more ties to the East. Interesting. Okay, let's go. And so another thing about that statistic, the biggest population boom for Caucasians was during the baby boomer generation. And most of them are retiring now. They're starting to die off. They're older. And since then, their population has been decreasing. They haven't been putting out the numbers. It's like become trendy, cool, fashionable to have one kid, two kids, or no kids. And you have to have at least two kids to just keep the same amount, right? You have a man and a woman. You have one child, okay, that replaces one. You have another child that replaces both. So just to keep the number the same, everybody has to have like two children. But to multiply, you have to have three or more. And three has not been fashionable to have kids. You know, they say that you're doing the earth a disservice. And so what's happening now is we see the results of that. We see the effects of that. It's kind of like the Chairman Mao policy that he had in China, the one China policy that's still in effect. And now they're upping theirs to two because they see that as the population gets older, they need a younger generation, a younger population to take care of them because they really can't take care of themselves. Even if they have money, I mean, the money is good to pay somebody else to do things for them. But if everybody's your same age and your same condition, who's going to do those things? Okay. Moving right along. Hey, so leave in the comments down below. How do you like the desk? How do you like the desk? And I mean, give me some suggestions, some ideas on some shows you'd like to see. This is just a test broadcast, so I'm just gonna go back and review it myself. I'm going live. We're live, but I'm just gonna look at the quality of it and not a lot of different things. We're gonna make the adjustment. This beta test. We're gonna do this for a while, but we're gonna continue to bring the hard hitting, the news. And I thank y'all for y'all support, and I thank you again for all the new subscribers and everybody just spreading the word. Like, share, subscribe. Let us keep going. Something else that we had missed. We're going to go through here. Something else we had missed last week. Now, the other day I talked about the meeting between Turkey, Iran, and Russia about the de-escalation zones in Syria. Okay? But something we missed, the BRICS had a summit last week. I overlooked that, I'm sorry, but I caught that. Dr. Mumbai. I saw her show and boom, she reported on it and I went and looked it up. I watched this. It's like 2.5 hours filmed. It's a lot of different interviews, a lot of different talks. But I'm going to tell you what I came across, what the information I got. This is just as important as the Bilderberg meeting and G7 and everything else, except this another alignment of countries. Most of the West wasn't included in that. See, this is why I'm saying the decline of the West and the rise of the East. So the BRICS nations, if you don't know, are Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They had it in South Africa, Johannesburg. I forgot the name of the city in Johannesburg, South Africa. There were some important things. Now, we know that a lot of things have been happening in Africa, in Kenya, in South Africa, because remember Obama and Oprah Winfrey and their 350 band of business people or whatever they were. We didn't get a list of names of who all went, but they just left Africa. Remember, they had a little African summit, and Obama made the comment that Africa is the youngest country, and so the stats on that is something like stats are something like 800. No, the stats are. I'm trying to remember one off the top of my head. Okay, so they have the most people between 18 and 40. In other words, they're the youngest continent as far as age, as far as the growth, as far as the population. So here's the thing, and that's in all of the countries in the continent. That's just pretty young, and they've all come of age right about now. So all of the developed countries are rushing in there to try to get their hands on the resources, to try to do some deals, to try to just think it's over, what is it, 400 million people? Yeah, it's over 400 million people. So that's a lot, and they're going to be earning. So what the trend has been for those from the African continent is to um, get your degrees or whatever, preferably if you can go to the United States to get them or to Europe, somewhere like the UK usually, to get your degrees and you go abroad and work and, save money, send money home, the plan, the immigrant plan. And when you retire, you take all that you have and you move back and you build a big house and business, or whatever, and retire back in your own country. They're trying to change that now. Now what they want to do, they want to invest in Africa. They want to change it. See, this is going against the New World Order plan. For the longest, they had plans to keep it third world. But now everybody's got their tentacles in there trying to grab at it, make the right deals, loan money, you know. Sometimes you don't want to take anything from them, like they say when you go to the penitentiary, don't take nothing for free. You see what I'm saying? No, you don't take no handouts. So, because it's a trap. Um, so everyone's wanting to loan money now. Everyone wants to do deals and set up some type of businesses over there. And this is a chance for the regular person, the normal people like me and you, the small fish. We could do business with them as well because there are a lot of young people now, entrepreneurs, college educated, with small businesses, small funds. We could do international trade. We better catch the wave before everybody else really catches on. Um, find some people to do business with in that continent. Several different countries. They're very business friendly at this time because they're trying to modernize, and they need the money, they need the tourism, they need the investment. So this is a golden opportunity. It's the next best kept secret. Remember, you heard it here first. Okay, so some of the things that were talked about. Let's see. Now Turkey was in attendance. This is the first time Turkey was in attendance. Remember, Turkey's a NATO nation. I didn't see any of the other NATO nations there. It did look like I saw maybe some French people there. Most of the West were not there. It was Asian countries, all of the African countries, Latin American countries, of course, Russia and um, all of the, I'm gonna say all of the Muslim countries. We got a lot more information to get into when it comes to about the Muslims and some stuff going on overseas. We'll talk about it if we get there in just a second. Okay, so Turkey is trying to join the non-aligned countries, the BRICS. See, China's double dipping. China's on the Security Council. Russia's double dipping. They're both on the Security Council in the United Nations with the United States and France and Britain. Okay? And then they have this BRICS thing over here, which is an economic forum. It's not really military alliance. We have NATO, which is in the G7, but Russia was a part of that, G8. But we're starting to see people do isolationist. The trade war is on. It's already starting to hit hard here in the United States. They even said at the summit, it's hitting hard in Africa. It's hitting hard around the world. I told you that. I told you what's going to happen by September. Okay. So, and China's playing both sides. Someone said, I watched several news clips of it after the 2-hour thing and their breakdown of the economic forum, the BRICS summit. And they said it was too much China, not enough of the other countries. The other four, it was like China was making deals with everybody, all of the countries, all of the continents. China was the big thing. So, again, the decline of the West, the rise of the East. It's what we're witnessing, guys. It's what we're living through. So let's just war game this out. Just think about it. What if the West did decline? What if the East did come up? I mean, what would you do? Where would you go? I mean, if you had to leave America, if we were attacked or if everything went crazy here, and there were some better places around the world, where would you go? You know, do you have family in other places of the world, other countries or continents outside of America? If not, do you have friends outside of this country? I mean, or would you just have to, play with your life every day, battling with wolves and gangsters and thugs and hoodlums? You know, how many times you gonna win? How many times you gonna escape by the hair on your chin before your day comes? Yeah. Okay. So let's keep it moving. So yeah, they're saying the guy said that it was 400 million people in uh, basically that were represented by that BRICS summit. 400 million people. And another thing, if we can get to that, let's get back over here right quick. So it's like all the nations around the world were represented there. The U.S. was not there. Canada and Mexico and the Western Europe were not there. You see, that summit represents the future, the BRICS. The West represents the past. So that's why I told y'all before, Trump is standing in the way. This Make America Great Again, MAGA, he wants to stay number one for, give us a little more time. And we have some more news to get to. All the other nations are starting to push back now. Yes, it's a lot of pushback now. And all the things, Trump was making a lot of progress. He was doing great. And it's like all of a sudden, the wave went this way. And he's come back with a vengeance now. So let's keep pushing. Africa, the African countries were discussing, one of the things they were discussing is having a one African currency, something like the euro, which all the Euro nations, the European nations joined together and got the euro for the whole continent pretty much. Everybody pretty much was steamrolled into it. They voted, but you pretty much didn't have a choice. Yes or no, you still get it. So they got it, and some are trying to get out, and it's not as easy as they thought. And don't forget that they have a plan for us, for Canada, the U.S., and Mexico. The Amero, the one currency over here, they got it planned out now. Don't think they don't. Remember, if you haven't heard it, you heard it here first. I've been knowing about it for a while. A lot of them reported on it before me, but I know it's a new generation, so I'm just keeping it going. Don't forget about it. Okay, so a single currency is getting closer to the mark of the beast, the one world currency. You keep expanding. Now the dollar, every time I say this when I'm live, and even when I mention the dollar, if it plays the first time, it won't play the second time. They're going to kill it. They're going to kill the dollar. So every time it just skips like I edited it out of there, and I know what they're doing, but remember what I told you is going to happen in September. You should see it now. You should see it. It's looking kind of crazy. So let's see what else is happening, because that one world currency is coming. The one continental currency in Africa, the euro, the Amero, the Chinese yuan will consolidate all of the Asian countries. Everything is going down to the one. It's going down to the one. Okay. Here's some news that you probably didn't hear. Iran has refused to meet with Trump. They refused, flat out. He said he wanted to meet with them with no agenda, no prerequisites, no, basically just meet and talk. I put everything on the table. And they said no. They said no. If you don't know what that means, you need to wake up, get your head out of the sand. I'm telling you what it means. And it's not good. comes a beating, baby. Confirmation, North Korea builds new missiles. Started back up the nuclear facility. I've mentioned this, I keep mentioning this. The talks didn't work. Q was wrong about North Korea. The clowns in America must not run it. Who runs it? The Red Dragon family. Xi Jinping. China. The new bosses. The new boss. So, what do you think we're going to do? Think we're just going to attack them? Sneak attack Kim Jong-un? Or send some mercenaries or some terrorists? Or what do you think? Drop the Delta Force on them and go in there and disarm them? Or drop a bomb on them? Or just let them make it and watch them closely? No good solutions right now. Okay, let's keep it moving. Saudi Arabia has pushed back against the U.S. And it's over Jerusalem. They say they want the status of Jerusalem. They say they want to be a returning land for Palestinians. And Trump hasn't, he's trying to push that back. They're trying to force him. Go ahead and make a decision. Tell us now, what are you going to call it? Because, the U.S. has moved their consulate from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. And that's under the orders of Donald Trump. All presidents have been saying they were going to do it for 60 years now, almost 70 years. And they kept kicking the can down the road every 6 months. And Trump just said, we're going to do it. Saudi Arabia, which is supposed to be a U.S. ally, is really upset about that. Of course, the Muslims want to take that too. They want to take that. They said it's one of their holy cities too. But it's really, I don't think it's mentioned in the Quran, but like once, twice. So Mecca and Medina are mentioned in the Quran a lot. Those are the Muslim or Islamic holy cities. So you know what that's about. More war. Okay. And then when I was telling you earlier about some stuff I wanted to say about some Muslim things that were going on in the continent of Africa. In Rwanda, Christianity has been outlawed. 8,000 churches were closed in Rwanda. They're making up any kind of reason. I think the government is full Islam now, and they're making up any kind of reason to shut those churches down. They're trying to say like it's unsanitary, your bathroom is too close to the door, and they're making up all kind of stuff. Even the newer churches that met the government standards or whatever, they still found a reason to close them down. So, yeah. See, this is it. You're going to be hated of all nations for my name's sake. That's what he said. Yud, hey, Wav, hey. Yahshua. Yeah. You can say Jesus, but when he walked the earth, his name was not Jesus. The letter J wasn't an alphabet back then. And there was no J in Hebrew, Greek, or Latin. No, not then. Yeah. So, what time do we have? And trying to get through this, guys. Trying to get through this. What else do we have over here? So you know that South Africa has been returning the land back to the indigenous people, the Aborigine of South Africa, and without pay. The same way the land was taken from them, they're returning it back. You just have to give it back to the people who've had it for generations. And the people, the immigrants, have to leave. And so a lot of the Western nations weren't taking them back in. They tried a lot of different Western nations, and they were like, no, we don't want y'all. But Russia decides to take 15,000 farmers from South Africa and to move them into the south of Russia, which is a win-win for both, because Russia needs somebody to grow some food. If you can grow it in that condition and that terrain and that weather patterns, whatever you can grow, the more food you can provide. Plus the trade war is on, baby. The more you can produce inwardly for yourself, the less chance you have of starving. So that may work out better for a lot of people. So we already talked about international trade for the little man. Look into doing business. There's websites online where you can invest in African small business. You can make micro loans. Like I said, the dollar is still strong, a lot stronger than a lot of the currencies in Africa and the Middle East. And you could, the continents over there. So what you could invest $100, double your money back. And you can invest 200 to 500, and you make the terms. There are a lot of different websites to do that. There are no guarantees, but a lot of it's like anything else. You rate people. It's like a little credit rating. So you can try small, you can try large, and everybody needs to loan money to get their businesses started. So if you have a lot of money, you can do a lot. You're the bank. If you have little, you can do a little, and you get that money back. You guarantee. You make a payment schedule and interest rate and all this. So it may work out. Look into that. Okay. And that would be the African connection. So that's a tip. That's a tip to the wise. A lot of resources there. A lot of people hungry there. And follow the money. That's where all the big guns are going. They're investing their next. So maybe you should try to beat them. And it's not, in this situation, the small money is not shut out of doing business. Okay. So they're trying to get the world order together, basically the world pecking order. So, like I said, the trade war has already turned into currency wars. China's dropped their currency down, try to keep people buying from them. And it's affecting business already. Yeah, if you're one of the lucky ones that you can't tell the difference, then you're blessed, because this is the time where you can prosper even more if you know what to do with what you have. Yeah, if you can invest right, buy low, sell high. Everything's on sale right now. Fire sale. Everything's on sale. Some things you store, some things you save, some things you can flip. But a lot of people are already starting to feel the pinch. Already starting to feel the pain, man. And InfoWars is reporting that more people are sleeping in their cars. We're getting ready to wrap up, guys, after this. One more point here, and we'll call it a day. More people are sleeping in their cars than ever before. And it's not just in big cities. It says in Los Angeles, it's up 75% over the last year. And it's even up in Wyoming and, small places like that. So a lot more homeless people with cars, the working poor, the working homeless. As prices rise for real estate and rents rise and the price of gas rises and everything else, man, but the pay is not keeping up. Wages are not keeping up. So small business is the way to go. And you just have to learn how to manipulate the situation. You have to learn how to be wise, to put two and two together and get your part out of there. You basically, business is just being this part of the deal, or the middleman. Yeah, so either way it goes, you just have to make sure you make the right deal, and you're making plenty of them, because there are going to be a lot of things to come available in these trade war and currency war before the big war comes. That's 2019. Okay, so, and the last thing, a little message from Q about the fires in California. Q says that they're being set by the Democrats and their minions to get disaster money from the government. You can declare California a disaster area, and the government will give you billions, in relief money. It's a smart idea. It's possible. That could be what's happening. I mean, who really knows? Now, some people are saying that it's laser weapons causing it from the sky, and direct energy weapons. But then some are saying it's just arson. Somebody's setting little fires, or a car caught on fire and set everything on fire. Those fires are not natural, guys. Fires are not natural. Anyway, follow the money. I was just, again, thank you for joining the broadcast, the test, the beta test. Um, as you can see, this is the idea of what we're looking at. Thank you for your support. Thank you for telling everybody. Tell more people, you know,